Here we go, 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 here we go.
Hello, I'm Phil LaMarr, and I would like to welcome you to the 7th annual Dwayne McDuffie Award for Diversity in Comics. Now, the DMADs, as we like to call them, started in 2015 and are still going strong today. Now, the reason I'm here hosting this is because I had the honor of working with our namesake, Dwayne McDuffie, personally back in the day, not just on Zoom. Actually, Dwayne and I got to work together quite a bit on the animated show Static Shock, where I was the voice of Virgil Hawkins.
The name's Static, and I'll put a shock to your system.
And also on the Justice League animated series, where I was John Stewart, Green Lantern of Sector 2814. Now, Dwayne was such a great writer. It was not only a privilege to be able to perform those scripts, it was always a lot of fun. And along with the fun and the great entertainment that he created, it was always subtle and not so always subtle, but themes of great societal importance, of great human importance. And that was in Saturday morning cartoons. I mean, that's how brilliant he was. He was able to bring this level of solidity, importance, as well as fun and entertainment to cartoons and to the many, many, many comic books that Dwayne wrote, edited, and created. If you don't already know this, Google him. Believe me, anything you find with Dwayne McDuffie's name on it, you're going to be so happy you read it. All right. Now, the DMADs are about diversity, but also about inclusivity. You know, Dwayne believed that everyone has a story to tell, and that everyone should be allowed an equal opportunity to tell their stories. I can only imagine what kind of brilliant stories Dwayne would be doing today if we had not lost him too soon. But it's so important that there are people like our DMAD finalists, and some of you out there who are watching this, who are continuing to do that outstanding work, like Dwayne's, that carries on Dwayne's mission to tell stories about all kinds of people, and for those stories to be told by all kinds of people. Kinds of people? That's just people. We are all one, and we are all individually us. Now, the motto on the McDuffie Award is Dwayne's words, from invisible to inevitable. And I mean, that's what these awards and that's what this mission is about, is taking, marginalized, overlooked, ignored perspectives, points of view, whatever, and moving them into the mainstream of inevitability. That's what we're working towards. And that is what the nominees for the DMADs are doing. Speaking of which, let's get to the finalists for the 2021 Dwayne McDuffie Award for Diversity in Comics. And the finalists are Adora and the Distance, written by Marc Bernadin with art by Ariela Kristantina. Himawari House, writer and artist Harmony Becker. Swim Team, writer and artist Johnnie Christmas. Nuclear Power, written by Desirée Proctor and Erica Harrell, art by Lynne Yoshii. And Girl Haven, written by Lila Sturgis with art by Megan Carter. Congratulations to our finalists. You're amazing. And now, I would like to announce the winner of the 2021 Dwayne McDuffie Award for Diversity in Comics. The winner is Adora and the Distance by Marc Bernadin and Ariela Kristantina. Congratulations. let's hear a few words from our winners.
Hi, thanks so much for the awards. Adora in the Distance won the 7th annual Dwayne McDuffie Awards for Diversity in Comics, validates stories about heroes that are not traditional or mainstream. I'm so glad to know that it's been very well received and people resonate with it. I'm honored to bring a very personal story that shines a light to autism to life. I would love to thank Comixology Originals and Dark Horse for being great supportive company right from the start. I would also love to thank all my creators, of course, Marc Bernadin, Will Dennis, Brian Valenza, and Bernardo Bryce for making the whole journey fun and exciting. Yang ini pesan untuk teman-teman di Indonesia. Terima kasih banyak udah beli dan mendukung karya teman-teman komikus, karya teman-teman Indonesia yang bekerja untuk buku-buku atau proyek-proyek internasional. Tetap dukung ya, terima kasih.
Hey friends! Wow. Listen, I don't really know what to say. Thank you so much. If you know anything about me, you know my love for Dwayne McDuffie. You know how we are all just standing on the shoulders of his particular brand of giant. And so to be nominated for a Dwayne McDuffie Diversity in Comics Award, but let alone to win it, and for this book, man alive. I mean, I only got to meet Dwayne once. And in that time, he told me I was on the right path. When I told him that I was kind of shamelessly ripping off Damage Control for a book I did called Monster Attack Network. It's like, no, that's what you're supposed to do. Make it your own. But anyway, on behalf of myself, Ariela, who I'm pretty sure you heard from, and the rest of the Adora in the Distance crew, thank you again so much for this amazing honor. It's a book that means the world to me. And you know, you don't make a book like this. You don't make any book really for awards. You don't make any book for any other purpose than to hopefully find an audience, to hopefully say something into the world that hadn't been said before. And to be able to do that with this book, to be able to tell the story of me and my daughter, and I think a fair amount of parents of autistic children around the world and autistic individuals themselves. Not to speak for anybody, but just to say it comes from a place of deep love. As does the thanks that I have for this award and for the nominating committee and for the jury and for everybody who picked up a book and read it and found something of merit within it. So again, thank you so much.
Congratulations to this year's winners. Thank you for your amazing work. I'd also like to give a thank you to Will J. Watkins, the director of the DMADs, as well as to our new selection committee member, David F. Walker, co-creator of DC Comics and CW's Naomi, the show, the comic, whose main character is named Naomi McDuffie, after Dwayne. Thank you, David. And I would love to give a heartfelt thank you to Dwayne's widow, Charlotte Fullerton McDuffie. Charlotte, thank you for giving us this opportunity to celebrate and continue Dwayne's legacy. And a big special thanks to all of our nominees. I encourage you to read the books of these finalists, because if this group of judges considers these the finalists, you know that stuff is amazing. Now, to all you other creators out there, please submit your work for next year's DMADs, because we're still going strong. And the mission for moving from invisibility to inevitability continues. Thank you all for watching. See you next year.
I read comic books casually like most kids did in the 70s. I was a big fan of Spider-Man, a big fan of the Fantastic Four.
I just never had met anyone who was anything like the black characters who existed in comics. Blacks in comics for many, 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 many years were drawn as subhuman. The Spirit, which is a relatively realistically drawn comic, Ebony White could have been a gremlin. I'm not sure a modern reader would understand that he was human. You just got into the habit of looking past that so you could have entertainment.
When I was a kid, I stumbled across a comic book called Jungle Action, a comic that featured the Black Panther. I had an epiphany. I was just fascinated with that comic. Looking back, it was this powerful sense of validation I saw, seeing myself reflected in the media as a hero. I think that really lit the fire that later became Milestone Comics. Milestone was a bunch of guys who liked comics, who had had a certain level of success in the mainstream, but we wanted to make our own thing and control it and have total say over it. My own inclination was to create comics that were more contemporary. That meant all kinds of people, not just black people. I didn't want to become the black version of my criticism of mainstream comics. One of the major things I was trying to accomplish was reproduce that feeling of belonging in a younger generation of readers.
When I go to San Diego and I see white kids dressed as Static or white kids dressed as clearly John Stewart, Green Lantern, I'm like, we're really getting somewhere, because this is a guy who is going to be less inclined to make assumptions about who somebody is based on the color of their skin. You know, so that's a win. I like to write all kinds of different stuff. I've been really fortunate to work with the best guys. I'm very proud to have been part of it.